At first glance, Maurice, Sam, and Pearl seemed like the perfect couple, one of those pairs that just radiated love. They were the couple you'd see at a party, laughing, holding hands, and looking so happy you'd think they were the epitome of relationship goals. But the reality behind their relationship, not so clear-cut. Pearl was always the one publicly declaring their love, speaking up for them, defending their bond, and making sure everyone knew that Maurice was her man. She wore her love for him on her sleeve, constantly reassuring everyone that they were in love. But, hold on, Maurice. Well, he stayed silent. Not a word about their relationship. Not a confirmation, not a denial. People started to wonder, what was going on? Did he even feel the same way? Here's the thing, Pearl was always working hard to make their love visible. She'd proudly speak about Maurice, defend him, and stand by their relationship. She did everything she could to show the world they were in it together. But Maurice, he didn't even lift a finger. No public displays of affection, no, I love you, out loud, nothing. His silence was pretty noticeable, and it left people scratching their heads. Was he invested in the relationship at all, or was there something or someone else pulling at his heartstrings? They say actions speak louder than words, and that couldn't be truer in Maurice and Pearl's case. Pearl would shout from the rooftops how much she loved him, but Maurice's complete lack of effort told a different story. If he really cared, wouldn't he show it? Wouldn't he stand up and publicly back her up? But he didn't. Instead, he let her carry the weight of their love alone, and that silence. It started to speak volumes. Sometimes, what's left unsaid can say more than any grand declaration of love. And with Maurice, his quietness said a lot. Was his heart really in this relationship? Or was he just going along with it for reasons Pearl couldn't see? Then, there's Sonia Uche. Now, Sonia and Maurice. Their connection was a whole different story. You could feel it just by watching them, they didn't need to announce their love to the world. Their chemistry was so clear, so obvious, that even strangers could see it. No public declarations, no, I'm with him, speeches. They didn't need any of that. The bond between them spoke for itself. It was in the way they interacted, the little glances, the small touches, it was a love that didn't need validation. It was just understood, like a secret only they shared, and that was enough. Unlike Pearl, Sonia wasn't fighting for Maurice's love. She didn't have to. The connection between them was so solid that there was no need for constant proving or claiming. It was just there, and it was real. There was no drama, no big gestures. Sonia was calm, confident, and secure in her relationship with Maurice. It didn't need to be displayed for the world to see. And let's be real here, true love doesn't need to be defended every 5 minutes. It's strong enough to stand on its own, and Sonia knew that. Now, Pearl, she found herself constantly defending her relationship with Maurice, but it was like she was the only one in the fight. She was putting in all this effort, talking about her love, making sure everyone knew how deeply she cared. But Maurice, he was emotionally distant, like he was somewhere else, like he wasn't truly in the relationship the way she was. There was no effort on his part to step up, protect their bond, or claim her as his. He let Pearl fight this battle on her own, and that one-sidedness didn't sit well with anyone. Here's the thing, if you really care about something, you fight for it, right? You stand up for it, you protect it. But Maurice, he didn't. His silence said more than any words ever could. Was he unsure? Did he not feel the same way as Pearl did? If his feelings were as strong as hers, why wasn't he showing it? Why was Pearl carrying the emotional load by herself? It made you wonder if this relationship was even worth fighting for. Pearl poured so much of herself into trying to make this relationship work, but sometimes, that's not what love is about. You can't force love. You can't make someone feel something they don't feel. Love should grow naturally, without the need for constant reminders and declarations. The real, lasting kind of love doesn't need to be forced or fought for every minute of the day. It just is. And while Pearl was busting her chops to make sure Maurice knew how much she cared, it seemed like Maurice's heart was already with someone else, someone who didn't need to shout it to the world. Enter Sonia again. Sonia didn't need to fight for Maurice's love. It was already there. The connection was undeniable, and it wasn't just about the physical attraction. It was deeper than that. Their bond was so powerful that it didn't need to be proclaimed. Everyone around them could see it, there was no doubt that they belonged together. Sonia didn't need to constantly prove their love. It was already clear to everyone, even without a public statement. Meanwhile, Pearl kept fighting, trying so hard to keep their relationship alive, but it was like she was running a race alone. Maurice never once stepped in to defend what they had. He didn't give her the support she needed when rumors or doubts came into play. Sonia, she didn't have to do any of that. Her connection with Maurice was so strong, so clear, that nothing, no gossip, no doubts, could shake it. It didn't need defending. It was solid. Sometimes, true love doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops. It doesn't need grand gestures or public fights. It speaks for itself. And in the case of Maurice and Sonia, their love was quiet, but it was undeniably strong. Maurice's silence, while confusing to Pearl, wasn't a mystery to those who saw the way he and Sonia interacted. He didn't need to vocalize his feelings, they were obvious in every glance, every touch. Pearl fought hard to keep their bond alive, but Maurice's lack of effort spoke louder than any declaration she could make. At the end of the day, love doesn't always need to be forced. When it's real, it's easy, natural, and effortless. Sonia didn't need to fight for Maurice's love. It was already hers. She didn't have to convince anyone, including Maurice, that they were meant to be. It just was. Pearl, however, was still battling for something that wasn't meant to be, no matter how hard she tried. The connection between Maurice and Sonia was too strong to ignore, and in the end, it proved that what's truly meant for you will find its way, no matter how much you try to force it.